Welcome to the ThunderCast, your martial athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hudnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week, so keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose. Thanks for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. You can follow us on Twitter at ThunderCast_pod and give us a like on our Facebook page too. Follow the links in the description to all of our episodes so that you can, follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can follow our great sponsors on their social media platforms and know how to get in touch with them. You can also join the Big Green from the links in the description. You can get in touch with the guys at the Thunder Trust from the links in our description. Any way that you can get involved with herd athletics, we make it really easy for you to do. Along that note, it was a very busy week in herd athletics, as it really is a lot at this time of the year. There's a lot going on, a lot of news. There's a lot just off the field stuff that's going on too. And we're going to get into all of it. But right now, let's get a quick word from our sponsors at 304carwreck.com. If you've been injured in a car wreck, visit 304carwreck.com on the web or on Facebook. What happens when an Ohio driver crashes into a West Virginia driver in Kentucky? That can be a mess. But if you can dream it up, Jason and Matt have probably been there, done that, and gotten their clients paid. Don't fight the insurance companies alone. Contact Jason and Matt at 304carwreck.com. Russ, there was a fair amount going on, so we tried to whittle it down, I guess, and we're going to cover most everything anyway, but let's start it out like we usually do with 5 things every herd fan needs to know this week.
Yeah, 5 things every herd fan needs to know this week. A true 5 things this week, and as always, those are brought to you by Ignite Link, the Tri-State's premier IT management team. Number 1, we've waited a long time for this baseball stadium. It's on its way. You can see the live webcam. Another phase of the project is they're rolling out the bricks program for the plaza that will be outside of the stadium. One of the things that we discussed early on this show, and it came to fruition. Yep. And there are several different options to choose from, which I'll go over here in a second.
Yeah, but before you get into the details of it, just out of the box, what a great idea. We had hoped that they were going to do this and, have a way, an avenue in place so that fans that wanted to contribute in a different way could do that and be a part of, this stadium for essentially ever. And I think this is a great way to do it. The only real question that I've seen so far that people have asked me is, when's the deadline? And I don't think they've put one out there, because this can go literally right up until almost it's time to open the place, because it's going to be one of the final things that gets done, right? That doesn't mean you should set on it and think about it for a while. It just means you probably got a little bit of time. So if you're thinking something like, hey, this might make a cool Christmas present, well, you may have that amount of time to get it done. And I'm sure they'll let you know when the deadline is going to be when they finally set one. But just a cool thing. I know we want to take part in this as the ThunderCast, as what we do. And individually, it's probably also something that we will consider. I know you've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to get 3 orders from us, I guess, from this project. But really cool project. I'm glad they're doing it.
Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of the info here, and if I give out any wrong info on this, I will correct it. But this is as I understand it. The first is a 4-inch by 8-inch standard brick, and it's $195. You get to personalize that. One gets placed in the plaza, and then you take one home as your replica brick. And along with that, they have. If you click on those, you can get an additional replica, and you can also get a display case for that. And those have additional costs and such, of course. So each one of these will have a standard display case that you can add on, and you can get additional replicas, however many you want, of the brick that you're putting in the plaza. The 8x8 bricks, $345. The 8x8 logo brick is $395. and what they had on there was Marshall with the herd across
Right.
it as the kind of, here's what it would look like. The 4x8 premium brick package is $295, and the 8x8 premium brick package is $345. I'm sorry, $445. And the 8x8 premium logo brick package. How can I keep messing this up? $495.
I hate that you want to keep saying prick package.
Yeah. No, I keep saying brick package. I don't know, but and finally they have a 12x12 premium logo brick package, and that's $2,500. The premiums are marble,
Mm-hmm.
and they are extremely nice looking. It's, the dark gray marble with the marble look to it, and white lettering and logos.
Yeah.
But you can get a on the 4x8s green or that brownish color, tan. So you can mix and match, and they're going to have that. And I imagine that the green will probably go in, not just to put medallion colors in, but maybe they'll be able to make a big M out of them or something.
Well, I was going to say, I'm hoping that they have a really killer mosaic design in mind.
Right. Yeah.
So that, because the way of the world now, you can get these killer drone camera footage and stuff like that, and it makes for really cool videos. So you really need a kick-ass mosaic design.
Yeah.
When you finally put this together. And I kind of got some faith that there's creativity behind it, and that's why there are multiple color choices of bricks. And I'm not I don't think I'm talking out of turn here to say that you should do this. I think it's probably already going to be done type thing.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool thing, and a lot of options. They didn't really price anybody out, because even at the lowest tier, a couple $100, it's a fair amount of money. I'm not trying to cast that aside, but at least like the entry level tier isn't $500, because that would price a ton of people out. Yeah. And I just want to be able to be a part of it, right? Because hopefully this thing will be around for decades and decades and decades and decades, and we'll see a lot of great moments. And this is, I mentioned this to my cousin. We were texting about this, and I said, hey, this is kind of like those once in a lifetime deals, right? Because you either do it while the window's open, or you don't do it, because it's not like I can foresee, well, we'll have a second brick campaign, unless they're going to add something on, But,
well, some of the things that I have seen at other venues, and I don't know that would be here, and you also don't want to wait because you might miss out. But other venues, just have blank brick in the plaza if they didn't sell all of those spaces, and you can go back later and get one. But we don't know for sure that that's going to be a thing, and I would not risk it. I would just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to take your chances on? So that they may do it, and then I don't know. I just think you should do it while the campaign's going on and be done with it, and just be a part of herd history. And I had mentioned in the tweet, this campaign is allowing us to collectively make this stadium the house that the herd built. And I think that's really the way it should be viewed, at least for this particular campaign. We can all have a little bit of say, and you can personalize even a little bit of real estate. It can be your personal little spot, and I think it's pretty cool.
I think we do need to say, too, that they have a little contest going on, that whoever has the best, they didn't say the funniest, they didn't say the wittiest, they said the best. Whoever has the best brick as chosen in this contest will get an additional brick for free. So, get with your most creative juices in your brain and come up with something good, and maybe you'll get a second brick out of this.
That's right. So you find the campaign at herdbricks.com. You can get all the information that Russ was talking about, all the pricing tiers and all the extras and all that cool stuff. So check it out, bookmark it, get a tab open on your phone, just leave it open so you don't forget about it. You can remind yourself, it doesn't slip through the cracks on you. And let's come together and get a bunch of bricks sold so we can have a really cool looking pavilion or walkway or whatever it's going to be as you enter the stadium. If we're going to do it, let's do it right, man. It's going to be really sweet.
Moved on to number 2, Justin Caldwell, who was the men's basketball coach at Glenville State, has left Glenville State and will be a new assistant men's basketball coach at Marshall. Marshall has not come out with the official announcement yet. Glenville did. So it's not like we're speculating on this. You know how things go. There are things that have to happen before an official announcement can be made, but it is official. He will be on our staff here at Marshall.
Yeah, and we had kind of wondered if that would be a thing, because Coach Stevens is coming down, and that's it's her fiance, and he's a very talented basketball coach in his own right, and we had mentioned that there may be some changes on the staff, and it's really cool to go in and, not like we're trying to rip the cupboard bare from Glenville, but we got two talented coaches from that athletic department to come to Huntington and help us take herd basketball programs to the next level. And I'm really excited for it. I am just really, really excited for it. So we're kind of sitting around just waiting on the official announcement from Marshall to confirm everything. But everybody knows at this point, this is not the speculation thing about when will we or won't we hire Coach Stevens. This is like out there, and Glenville's talking about it. But excellent addition to the staff. Excited for what he can do from a recruiting standpoint, from an X's and O's type standpoint, to augment and add to the system that we have in place. I'm just really excited for it, honestly. I think it's a great move, and it looks like there's been a little bit of an added commitment for herd basketball. We got the D'Antoni extension, we got the Kim Stevens era starting with women's basketball. Now we're bringing in, a younger minded, energetic type head coach that relates well to this era of player. So I guess there's a lot to be excited about, I think, because, there's changes afoot. That's for sure. We saw today. Let me just toss this in here. I saw a little bit ago that Micah Henlogden had committed to the University of Florida. So we know that there is absolutely, even if you were holding on hope that he was coming back out of the portal, that's not going to happen, right? So there are definite changes afoot with this roster. And hopefully, with the addition of these of Mr. Caldwell, we can, put the best five that we can get on the floor and make a run at the Sun Belt again.
Yeah. Number 3, a little bit of negative news that we had to put in here. E.J. Horton has entered the transfer portal, wide receiver and special teams player. Announced it on, when was that, Friday maybe?
I don't know. I think I saw it yesterday, but it may have been a couple of days ago. But I don't know. But yeah, nonetheless, another wide receiver for the herd is in the portal. Or will be in the portal. He announced that he will be entering in the portal when the window opens.
Yeah, it'll be in May, I think, May 15th or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's following spring football.
Yeah.
There's a portal window that opens up, and he's announced that he's going to be entering into that. And I think I wonder how that works, because we're in the midst of spring ball here. So I don't know if that means he's participating or not participating or whatever the case may be, but some folks may start to go, dang, who's left? Well, there are plenty left in the wide receiver room. There's still plenty of talent returning, outside of Corey Gamage hitting the portal, and now E.J. Horton saying he's going to hit the portal. There is still a lot to be excited about. So don't just start sounding the alarms just yet. But EJ is one that I was expecting to have a really big season this year, because he finished the last part of last year really strong, made some flashes in several games, and I thought he was working some really good chemistry with Cam Fancher, and but all you can do is wish him well and thank him for his time with the herd, right?
Yeah. Number 4, I felt like we needed to talk about this because this is something every herd fan needs to know. And I just got a little bit of details about the tailgates that we have coming up 2 weekends from now. The green and white game on April the 22nd and the JMU softball game on April the 23rd. So just wanted to give a little bit of more shine, I guess you would say, on this and talk about some of the details. So we will be there very, very early. We're going to park the smokers on Friday night and start cooking on the west lot for the green and white game. So Saturday, when you get there, when the gates open at 10, we will have already been cooking all night. not me and this guy over
No,
here, but
not me.
some talented individuals on the smoker uh, that will be some of the best food you've ever had.
Yeah.
But they will be there all night long cooking up this food, and we'll have it ready there. Do a big tailgate from 10 a.m. Roughly on the start. Food might not be ready right then, but we'll be invited or have everybody invited over around that time, and then it'll stop around 20 minutes or so before the game starts. Let everybody go in and get situated and watch the game and everything, and then the next day we'll be over very early on the softball field, and don't really know which parking lot first. Maybe the one right there on Fifth Avenue, and I'm sorry, Third Avenue, and then that game starts at noon.
Yeah.
So the tailgate will at least be around 10. We just need to kind of see 10, 10:30, something like that, what time we're going to kick off over there, but we will have everything ready for food before the game.
Yeah. And I should say that, it's not like when these games are over, we're just packing up shop and leaving, right? Because we'll have a little bit, we're just going to hang for a while, and because we have plenty of food, and we want to give, anybody that wants the opportunity to have a post-game meal, if there's food left, we want people to be able to eat that. We damn sure don't want to throw away all that great food.
Yeah.
So, but there's, plan bright and early, and tailgate accordingly for a early morning, late afternoon type deal, right? Don't it's not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is probably going to be a lot of people's first tailgate of the season. And hey, man, you're not in mid-season form in the preseason, so no, just plan accordingly. But look, if we want everybody out there that's going to be coming to the game, come by and say hi, come by and grab yourself something to eat. Just feel free to hang, right? It's you don't have to be anywhere. You're just welcome. If you want to come. If you don't, that's cool too. We'll see you, and we'll talk about it the next weekend when we do the next show. But we want everybody to feel like they've got a soft place to land and come talk about the herd and kick it for a little while and just have a good old time, and really officially start kickoff football season the right way, and then do it all again over at Dot Hicks Field the next day. We want a packed house. We don't want one empty seat at Dot Hicks Field. The softball team just deserves everybody that's in Huntington that's available to go to that game to be at that game. And we want to try to put an atmosphere in place that makes it even more of a enhanced experience. They're going to provide the excitement on the field. We want to help provide the good time off the field, and together, hopefully, it just makes for a really, really great weekend. Russ and I have been looking forward to it for months, right? Months. And to know that it's finally coming together and that both of us get to be there, and we're going to be surrounded by a lot of our friends and make new friends and meet new people. That's kind of the best for us. That's kind of what it's all about. From the get-go, we talked about this show was about enhancing the fan experience, right?
Yeah.
It's very much not about you and I. It's all about the fan base and making their experience better at Marshall games. And this is a great opportunity for us to do that. It's a great opportunity for you guys to take part in that. So please do it. Please do it. You'll have a great time. You'll meet great people too.
And let me tell you, even if you think you are a hardcore tailgater, you are maybe the best tailgater I think that you're going to be surprised by a couple of these guys that just their tailgating acumen. And I don't mean, they sit around and pound beers for 14 hours. I'm talking about the level of cooking that they do with these smokers and, sound system and everything. This is professional tailgating, and everybody's going to have a good time.
Yeah.
What else can you find there? You're going to have people that have made it possible for you to come there and eat for free. And we have actually 4 different sponsors that have stepped up to do that. One was a sponsor during one of our tailgating shows, ThunderCast Live last year, and that's McCormick Insurance Group. They are an Erie Insurance, amongst other provider for property and casualty, life insurance, just about everything. They're down in the Cerrito area, local. Huge herd fan, Matt McCormick of McCormick Insurance Group. Some of you got to know him last year at one of the tailgates. So he's one. A1 Roofing, Paul Cheney, in the tri-state area. They do not only new roofs, but they're one of the only companies around here that do minor roof repairs instead of saying, no, we just install new. So be sure if you or anyone you know needs to have any work done on your roofs, gutters, soffits, that sort of thing, hit up Paul while you're over there. We also have New Again Detailing. Rusty Sarton owns a very nice, I've had my vehicles done there, but a very nice car detailing all the way up to ceramic coating, which is a newer thing instead of wax or other things that you can do to protect your car. And he is located in the Lavalette to Canova area out on Route 75. So also someone local, new business that is here, and we hope that you'll send business his way as well. And finally, we have Level Entertainment, Reese Rogers, a professional DJ that provides a little bit of other services as well. He does a lot of weddings. He does a lot of events. He has been featured in some very big productions along with Pitbull down in, I think it was in Miami when he did that. I'll have to ask him, but he is extremely polished, has been picked up by some national acts to open up and do some things for some other events. So we have a lot of talent here that's going to be at this tailgate that you'll be able to talk to and hit up if you need their services.
Yep. All Marshall guys, all Marshall fans, and all local stuff. So if that's the kind of thing we were talking about before, we're trying to develop a network of things that our listeners and viewers might need. Everybody's going to need a roof or roof repair at some point. You probably at some point are like, man, I'd really just like to get my dirty old car detailed, or like, hey, I've got a wedding coming up. My buddy's got a wedding coming up, my daughter, whatever, or prom or whatever. There's an event. Like, this is a top tier entertainer that you can book for that event. So we're trying to take a lot of the guesswork out of some of these things for you and point you in the right direction of some top tier talent that's in the area for what you may need. So come on out, support those guys, support those businesses if you're in need of their services, and just have a general great time with us on Green and White Game Weekend. It's going to be a blast. I am super pumped for it.
Yeah, and not to exclude him, but everyone does need car insurance. I mean, it's a law. So
well, that's what I'm saying. It goes without saying. You need
that. No harm in reaching out to that guy and saying, "Hey, here's what I'm paying right now. Can you beat that?" It doesn't hurt.
If I ever move back to West Virginia, I'm calling Matt McCormick first shot, no doubt about it.
But anyway, that's it. We will have, that week we'll have a little additional details, the menu, that sort of thing, and we'll go over it a little bit more, and you'll see it on social media, and we'll talk about it on here a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, KD. What is this week?
The week before the week of the Green and White game.
There you go.
Week 7.
Week 7 in our PC chalkboard clues. About drop that right on everything. And here is clue number 7. This will be your final clue. And next week there will be an announcement. So we'd like to remind everybody that each board that we have had, 7 boards, there are multiple clues on them. And it takes most likely all 7 to come up with the answer. Not one individual board is going to give you the answer of what this is, but there will be clues on them that will let you know. So if you think that you have it, even if you don't think that you have it and you just want to take a wild stab, DM us. Please don't put it on the timeline. That kind of messes up other people that might be taking guesses. But
well, I mean, just to be fair, we probably just won't reply to you if you put a guess on the timeline, and we're not being rude. It's kind of like your cue to go to the DMs.
Yeah. But there it is, clue number 7. If you want to see all these, you can go to the hashtag tcchalkboard.com on Facebook or on Twitter, and you can see all the boards. And as always, I will be putting this one up later on after this show drops.
All right, get those guesses in. You're running out of time to get it right, because we want to do everything during week 8 or before, right? I mean, like the guess week or now. Somebody gets it now, that'll work too. But yeah, been a pretty tough contest. I warned you guys in the beginning it was not going to be easy. I told you I knew all the answers and still could not figure it out. I don't know if that says more about me as an idiot or more about Russ's ability to put together a riddle, but it was tough, and I told you it was going to be tough. So DM us if you've got the clues or if you got the answer.
I think this is one of those that when you look back at it, you could go, well, yeah, that all makes sense. But it's tough, trying to put them together, and that, I didn't want to have 700 people win.
Sure,
there's no point in putting out something that's going to be a 7-week contest or an 8-week contest when it's revealed after 8 weeks, and you put out a clue that just automatically tells you what it is on week 1. It's not fun for anybody. So I tried to make it a little difficult. I just hope it wasn't too difficult.
Well, mission accomplished. It was challenging. I'll put it that way. It was challenging. So let's take this bad boy around the herd, shall we?
Yeah, let's start off with women's golf. Marshall finished 13th out of 16th at the Colonel Classic over in Richmond, Kentucky, earlier last week. Olivia, and I did not listen to how this was pronounced, so I apologize, but it looks like Kochan. I don't know, Kochan. She led the herd with a 12 over, and that was tied for 39th overall. The Sun Belt Championships are coming up, and that will start on Sunday and run through Tuesday, April 16th through April the 18th.
The Colonel, what is it called? The Colonel Classic?
Colonel Classic.
Heard you win that, you get a bucket of chicken.
Should.
Probably did. I wonder what the trophy looks like. It would be so kick-ass if it was like the old school, like white and red.
The white and red vertical stripes.
Hell yeah. Like, that'd be pretty. And it has to like spin like the old school sign. That'd be pretty legit.
Yeah. I could probably take a bucket of chicken right now. I'm not good at golf, though. Haven't played in
either.
I don't know the last time I have played. But. All right, tennis. They beat Southern Miss 4-1 on Saturday, and then South Alabama 4-0 on Sunday. If you may be saying, well, hey, don't they usually play 7? Well, the teams just didn't finish because Marshall had already got the 4 to win. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on where they're at in the matches and probably weather and maybe a little bit of, hey, we got our ass kicked, let's go home. So
Marshall went on a little bit of a tennis run this past week, man. It was cool.
Yeah,
they were winning convincingly, and it's great to see, man. I swear this is like the sleeper program that has won a whole bunch, and still I feel like nobody but really us is talking about it, and that's okay. Right. It's not okay, but it's I don't know how to justify it. They're winning a lot. And I wish that there was more, more pub out there for them, because a lot of our tennis players, if not all of our tennis players, are just flying completely under the radar with what this team is being able to accomplish this year. But we, damn it, will not let it go unnoticed, because it's pretty cool, man. And a lot of credit should go to, the tennis program.
Since they started Sun Belt Conference play, and they have played additional teams that aren't in the Sun Belt Conference, but since that started, to my knowledge, they lost to Troy 4-2, and then they lost to a very good, highly ranked ODU team.
Right.
And Troy was after ODU, but they have, it seems like, I know it's not called mercy ruled, but just about mercy ruled everybody else, won early.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. It's just like this last meet. If you go, it's best of 7, you go 4-0. Well, it's basically it's also not called a sweep, I don't think, because it's not the same thing, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're winning in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and we've got some individuals there that are putting up some impressive records on there, and not just as a team, but we will see these individuals going for some of these conference accolades here coming up. So,
you got SBC championships can't be that far away, and you got to think that there's not that many individual performers and then doubles teams that are going to get lost in the mix. Like
Mm-hmm.
they know who they are around the
Mhm.
conference. So unless something just happens, I would like to think that we're in position to make a really strong showing in the SBC championships, and it's pretty cool.
So they have a road game coming up at App State this Friday, and then a little bit of trivia knowledge that you'll like. On Sunday, they're heading over to WKU.
Oh, okay. So a little old school
little tie there for you, a tie-in.
So I wonder if that is I'm sure they play on like a hard court. I think damn near everybody does. I doubt anybody has a grass or nobody's got clay. So we'll call that the Moonshine Throwdown hard court. Oh, no, it's not hard court because that's basketball. What would it be? What would you call that? Aces in Love? I don't know. Something tennis only. Anyway,
I don't know. That's all you, man.
Well, I'm out of practice.
I'll live with it. You come up with it, I'll live with it.
But yes, just a nice rivalry renewed from a tennis standpoint. How about that?
You just call me up and say, Russ, I came up with the name.
Here's what it is.
Sure.
Here we go. Cool.
All right, track and field. South Florida Invitational went on. The men were on Friday and the women were on Saturday, and I have the results from that. We came up with a couple of good wins. So let's see here. Pair of wins on the men's side. The 800 meter won by Brett Armbruster, and his 1 minute 49.8 seconds came within a second of taking down the school record back in 1999. That was pretty cool. And 1500 was won by Evan White.
Cool.
6 other herd men placed on Friday, and there was a near personal record from Ethan Bowens in the 400 meter. So a couple people right off of setting some personal or school records, and it's pretty cool.
But still, notching individual wins at the event is awesome nonetheless. I don't know a list of schools that were there, but I do know that I did see at least one picture that had someone in a uniform from that school up north. So I know there were several schools. It wasn't just like the Herd and USF. So I don't know the full list, but notching a win in any event at a meet like that was probably well attended is big time stuff.
I'm trying to look and see if they've got the teams listed here. I've got the flyer up, and it does not have the team. It has basically the schedule and things like that. I can look at, of course, you never know because they don't have to compete in every individual event.
No.
So, it might take a while to figure out how many teams were actually there.
Yeah.
But the women over on Saturday, they put up a pretty impressive showing. They took the stage with 4 wins, and Rebecca Merritt got 2 of those. She got the hammer throw and the discus throw. Tyra Thomas won first place in the 100-meter hurdles, and Micah Elaine in the 400-meter hurdles.
Dang.
Kylie Maston's second place finish in that 800-meter that she was in nearly matched the school record that she set last month. And had some other people coming in second and third, like pole vaulting. Diana Goodman got second. Macy Majoy got third, but they were right at, I mean, it might have been like, because it's the exact same height that they put on there, 3.8 meters. So one may have gotten, I don't know, did it twice or something. Or maybe they went to tiebreaker to see what their other, I don't know. But anyway, got some really cool second, third place. Good showing overall.
So. Yeah, and I saw some content that the track and field team posted. They were out on Friday while the men were competing. They had a video of the ladies running, down one of the, water side. I don't know. It's not a sidewalk, but it's wider than a sidewalk. But anyway, and they were talking about running in the sun and how great it was, and I was like, yeah, this is like on the daily down here. Life's pretty rough down in Tampa. And then they posted a crowd shot, and there were some Herd supporters out there watching the meet. I wanted to try to go. I wanted to go. I was hoping to be able to go, and I really felt bad once I saw that there were actually Herd fans there, and I thought, man, they were like right there. I really wish I'd have had time to go, but you know how it is, man. It's Easter weekend. It was just bad timing. If that meet would have been the weekend before, probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But it just so happened I wasn't able to get free and go down there. But I really wanted to, and I just thought it was really cool that they had the crowd shot on the Twitter account, and there was a good amount of Kelly Green there watching them compete. So that was really nice to see.
See, I was hoping that you were going to tell me that you went down there, you got to go and watch it, and they also allowed you to practice the pole vault.
Yeah.
2 feet.
So I'm sure you've seen some of those like bloopers before, to where like a pole vaulter will go, and then they get the pole, planted, and they're starting the vault, and then like the pole just obliterates, like breaks to shred. I always fear like that's what I'm gonna try that, and then I'm gonna get right up there at like max tension on that pole, and it's just gonna snap, and there I go off to oblivion.
That was Daffy Duck, I think.
I just don't have the guts to do that, man. I don't.
Pretty sure Bugs Bunny beat Daffy Duck, and that's what happened to him. So, all right, let's get on with that nonsense.
Yeah.
Men's soccer ended up losing in the Collegiate Spring League to Louisville at Louisville. They lost 2-0. That means that on their division, Louisville finished first with 9 points, and we got 6, and they will go on to play Louisville in the championship game, and Marshall will be playing next Saturday in Columbus for 3rd place.
Yep.
So
damn it.
That goes to show you, man. I mean, you only got 3 games and then the final. So you mess up once and somebody else didn't mess up. We
saw that firsthand last year in the tournament. Like we played strongly all game long, and one bad pass gets away from us, it results in a goal, and that was that. So that's just the game of soccer, man. You can play perfect for damn near the whole game, and one little flurry for a small amount of time throughout a game can just be all it takes. So doesn't matter. Spring League, yeah, we wanted to win it. Yeah, we were defending champs. Yeah, it was bragging rights type stuff. Love to have 2 in a row. That would have been cool. But this team is still very, very, very good, and they're going to be very, very, very tough to get past in the Sun Belt this year. You got to think that the top 3 teams out of the Sun Belt are going to be really tough and going to be in that national contention, competing for a title again. So you can't let one Spring League game just kind of like determine your outlook for the season for this Herd, or otherwise you're just going to be missing out on some really great soccer being played.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, how hard is that in a 3-game league, before you get to the finals or the final game or whatever? But 3 games, I mean, you have to win all 3 to really, really hope that you win. I mean, it didn't happen in the other division. They got 7 points, but still, they came out with 2 regular victories and then a penalty victory. So that gave them 7 points overall. Louisville got 9, but it is what it is, man. It's good practice for coming up on the regular season, for those guys.
I mean, it just would have been awesome, but it just didn't happen. So
yeah. It's good to get to participate. And, hey, we're going to celebrate the hell out of their 3rd place finish, too. So, these are good teams that are going up. This is not, like we said earlier, these are some really good teams. All right, let's take it over to the baseball diamond. WVU came to Charleston on Tuesday, and Marshall seemed like they were going to get them there. It kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
In late game, it kind of broke open. WVU came out 15-9 victory.
Yeah. This was one of those that was in the theme of a lot of what we saw the same last year. We were just in it, and then got away from us at the end. And it's just frustrating, that it's frustrating that it was to the opponent that it was, because that's a top 25 team, and whoever the team is across the jersey, I understand that it means a little bit more to certain fans because it said West Virginia, but that's a top 25 team. And that if you notch that victory, that's a big thing for this team that's trying to build and trying to find its way. And, they just came up short. But that's so far. Both of those games against West Virginia were great. They were great games. And yes, Marshall went 0-2, but they were competitive all the way through and up until the end in both of those games.
Yep.
So that's where the brick by brick comes in. A few more bricks here and you can compete and you can make a few more plays in those late inning situations to maybe swing that one the other way. So I think that's a good, I'm not terribly really open to the idea of a football series anymore. It could have been great and it's just so toxic and I'm just not really one for it. You might feel differently, but some of these other sports, I think it's still doable and not as toxic and still a good thing. So baseball, basketball, even
soccer.
I think that's a big soccer. Yeah. It's a big, it's a big opportunity to do something, with an interstate school that is positive. I think I sadly think that the ship has probably sailed on football just for making that a positive thing now. But
and it's such a different business model, right? With conferences and the demand for TV and the way that it is with scheduling. So I get it, but no, it is a very good thing. Like we talked last week, I think it was about a potential baseball series, and as I understand it, that is the plan, that they'll have a home and home and then a rubber match in Charleston.
That's a great blueprint for something that can really build and be a good thing that stretches more than a day, because you can stretch that out over the season a little bit and kind of bring folks together 3 times.
And listen, I know this top 25 ranked WVU team had to travel down to Charleston as well, but Marshall was not at home. They had to travel over to Charleston. So again, we're talking about when the stadium gets here and the facilities improve and it's a local game. You just walk across campus or whatever and you're there, and maybe you're there 5 hours before the first pitch to get into your routine. Maybe that the hitting facilities indoors will make a huge difference. The video room will make a huge difference. I feel like all this, once it is in place, you'll see this team really take it to the next level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're seeing that right now. Just on the other side of the diamond, the softball team has their own place. They got their own clubhouse. They get to go chill and do their thing. We just talked about this with 4 of our players in the series that we did, and they all, they all get ready in different ways, but they all also spend a lot of time around the facility, and that's what you need. So once we get that, again, we'll be able to take things up to another notch, another level, and then Bill's and the recruiting and this staff and all that stuff. And I'm no way, shape, or form am I trying to say that we don't have quality players on the program now. I'm just saying the whole program gets elevated. Everything gets elevated when you have a home field.
And I should have said, we wanted to talk about that WVU game just because it was a ranked team there. But Louisiana also came in this weekend and got swept. They lost 8-4, 5-2, and then on Sunday 8-2. So rough week for them this week down at Gomart Park. But one thing that, you're still seeing some really good individual performances in these, and stuff to build on. It doesn't look like, hey, this is a lost cause. People may say we lost 4 games this week. Forget about it. There's a lot to work with here. Carinci had 4 hits in one game.
Luke Edwards individually had a pretty good series. Who had the big bomb? Who was that? Lucio had the grand slam in one of those games. They're individually it's happening, and it might not be happening in the same games, right? So guys are just having good games at different times, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm talking. We told you guys about this at Sunbelt and how good of a baseball conference it is, and you can't just say that and then get mad when you're like, "Dang, this is a good conference." Well, we told you it was. And it's not going to get any easier, right? Because you get a game you might be able to get against Ohio, and then you got Texas State, who is a really good team coming or going wherever we're going. Where we're
going. So we're going up to Athens to play Ohio on Tuesday, and then Texas State at San Marcos
Yeah.
this weekend.
They are a really good team,
Really good.
guys. Really good team.
Yeah,
So
they do well in baseball and in softball, but their baseball is really, really good.
yeah. So it's a tough road to hoe, and we knew that, and we were all sitting here months ago saying we're ready for the challenge, we're ready to take on the Sun Belt, and we knew it was going to be rough. We knew we were going to lose some games. We also knew we were going to win some games, but it's a process, and we have to be committed to the process of building a program from being behind the eight ball that we've been behind. I mean, there are teams that we play against that still cannot fathom the fact that we don't have a ballpark.
Right.
Like, they're like, what? So we are just behind the eight ball, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And, hopefully in a shorter order, we'll be more competitive to where we don't go into a series thinking, all right, we need to just get one. Our whole mindset as Herd fans hopefully will change on this program and go, we're looking to sweep. We're looking to at least win the series. There is no getting swept. That's not in the equation anymore. But in the meantime, we still have pieces to put in place. So get behind these guys, buy a damn brick. Let's help it help it get built. Let's help it look better. And you look good, you play good, right?
That's right. Now let's finish it up here around the Herd, keeping it on the diamond, and with this softball team that we follow so well. We just, for anybody that is listening to this and missed it, we have YouTube exclusive 5-part series over video only on YouTube with head coach Megan Smith Lyon and 4 players, Autumn Owen, Sydney Nestor, Alex Coleman, and Grace Chelleman. So check that out if you haven't. But let's talk a little bit about their week. They came in with a 21-game winning streak, and they went down to ULM. They won they were supposed to play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday's game got going, and then it got postponed because it was just pouring. So they restarted the game from that point on Friday, and Marshall let their floodgates out, and in 6 innings they mercied ULM 13-2.
Yep, that was a weird one. I want you to go through the results, but of course I have to go back and talk about how this all plays out for the finale.
Yeah. So we'll do the first 2 games here, and then we'll let you talk about them. Then we'll set up the finale. Saturday they had a doubleheader, and in that first game they pulled out a victory 4-3. So what you got for us, KD?
So on the opener, like you said, it was supposed to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So they get going Thursday, and I think they get maybe 2 innings in, and then it gets called, and then they have to pick the game up in Friday. Well, Sid was in the circle, right? She's your game 1 series opener starter, and has been for the Herd. She's earned that right. Obviously, she's phenomenal. So put yourself in this mindset, and I wanted to just put you through how her weekend went. You start pitching on Thursday, your game gets called. You come back and you pitch the first one Friday, okay? Then you have to come in relief to get the save on the first game on Saturday. Then you're back in the circle to start the second game on Saturday. Think about that as a pitcher, okay? And now, no, this is not a she got overworked type scenario, but just think of the amount of times that these hitters get to see you, right? And ultimately, the Herd lost that close one to close out the series with Sid in the circle. And this is the first time that I can remember in a while that she started a game and didn't pitch a complete game, or at least go 6 1/3 or something. Like somebody might have had to come in for an out or 2. But in that finale, she goes 4 2/3, and that's an early exit for us in relation to what we've seen Sid do. But anyway, back to the opener. You're right. They come out, and across 2 days, they bust out the bats kind of late and get things going and bust it loose to end up with a mercy run win in 6 innings, 13-2. Nestor complete game, 5 hits, only 1 earned, and 8 strikeouts. Stop me if you've heard that before. 19-2 at that point on the season. Bub Faringa, Cam Mahalis, and Lauren Love all go 2 for 4. Mahalis and Love both notch a double, and all 3 of those gals in the game with 2 RBIs. Bub also tacks on a walk. Riley Lucas and Sid Bickle both hit doubles in that game. Riley Lucas with 3 RBIs in that one, too. really opened the floodgates for the herd. And you're thinking, great, we're off and running. This is going to be
Mhm.
same more the same. Well, you come back out in that opener on Saturday, and it's a tight one. I mean, it is tight.
Yeah.
Sydney Rice is in the circle. She pitches 6 1/3. She gives up 5 hits and 3 earned, only striking out 2, but does notch the win. She's still perfect on the season now, 9-0 on the season. Bree Godfrey comes in relief and faces one batter and walks her. So Coach Smith is like, okay, we got a 1-run lead. We just put one on. Now the winning run's at the plate. They make the decision to pull Bree and put Sid back in to get the save. She comes in for the final 2/3 of an inning, gives up 1 hit, but of course nobody scores, notching her first save of the season because that's just not her game,
Mhm.
And then she turns right around and pitches in the circle for the series finale, which we'll talk about in a second. But the herd in that second game, only 5 hits as a team, Russ. That's just
Mhm.
not what we're accustomed to seeing. Brooklyn Ulrich does take one out of the yard, 1 of 3 with a home run. Autumn Owen, 1 of 3, gets herself an RBI, notching ever closer to that single season record, but still hasn't eclipsed it yet. Also, Grace Chellerman, 1 for 3 with an RBI, and that was like your performers, from an offensive standpoint. It was a tough one.
Mhm.
The series finale gets away from the herd, 5-3 loss, ending the consecutive win streak at 23. Herd sits now at 33-4, 9-1 in the conference. But look, that win streak was so fun. I think we should just kind of start another one
Yeah.
and just do it again, right? I don't know how
Yeah.
many games are left on the schedule, but wouldn't that be wild if Marshall wins
Let's see.
23, loses 1, and then goes on like a 25-game win streak to go through the tournament and stuff?
I don't know how many they would play in the tournament, but I think there are 50 games on the schedule. So there are 33-4. Should be 13 games left.
Wow. It seems like there should be more, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sid Nestor, as I mentioned, goes 4 2/3 in that one. Listen, here's the thing. She gives up 6 hits in that one. ULM scores all 5 runs off of Sid. Only 1 of those is an earned run. So that's kind of what sucks. She didn't have a typical dominating Sid Nestor performance, but still only 1 of the 5 runs is an earned run. Only striking out 1 in that one, which is also a little uncharacteristic, but it is nonetheless. She's stuck now on 19 wins for at least another opportunity. 19-3 for Sid on the season so far. Bub Faringa comes in for the last inning and a third to close out the win, or to not close out the win, to close out the game.
Mm-hmm.
Another fairly rough day for the herd bats. Not too great, but Abby Darnley and Bree Godfrey both go 1 for 1. Abby gets an RBI. Riley Lucas is 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI, and Cam Mahalis is 1 for 3 with an RBI, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was bound to happen sooner or later, but damn, man, what a run. And it was so fun to watch. So many smiles, so many freaking wins and dominant performances that there's no time like the present just to pick it up and start all over again. Might as well do it right freaking now, because we got some big series coming up. We're going to have to prove who we are a little bit. The games are going to get a little bit tougher. You're going to have to go play Coastal. You're going to have to play James Madison. Marshall, for whatever reason, somehow does not have to play either Louisiana or South Alabama in the regular season. So those could potentially have to be saved for a Sun Belt Conference tournament. And you better have your A game ready and hitting your stride if those are in front of you to potentially capture a title. So, and let's not forget, Alabama is also coming in short order. I started following some national softball accounts, and Montana Fouts has just been in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So you would probably like to think she's going to be in the circle when they come to town.
Unless there's an injury, she's going to be in the circle.
Yeah, because I mean, she's the local kid, right?
She's the reason that they did this game. They want to take a senior and get them a local game midweek, as local as they can.
Yeah.
And still play a Division I game. So that's the deal.
Yeah. So she's been cruising this past week and really all season. So you're going to face one of the nation's best pitchers in a midweek coming up in a couple of weeks. So, we got to get our groove back. We just got to get our mojo working again. And one game doesn't eliminate that. We know that, but I think can be a good thing, because now the pressure of continuing a win streak is off, and you can just get back to, what has worked for you for those 23 games. So there's your softball wrap up in a week.
Yeah, and here's what you got. You got Morehead State at Morehead on Wednesday. That's still a local game for everybody to head over and watch if they want to. Then they travel to Conway for Coastal Carolina for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then that's when they come back the following week. And on Tuesday, Alabama's here, April the 18th. Then that JMU series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which, of course, we talked about that earlier. And then after that, they've got Virginia Tech at home on Tuesday, the 25th, and Texas State at home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Georgia Southern at Georgia Southern the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, end of the season.
Yep.
So if they win those games, if they put on that winning streak that you talked about and they closed out, there is zero chance in my mind they are not ranked. You can't beat Texas State all three games, Alabama, Virginia Tech winning all these games and have a 4-loss record on the year, winning 46-4, I think it would be, and not be ranked. So if they do what you say, hey, let's just do, man, that's
we should just probably just do it then. I mean, let's just go ahead and do it.
Just do it. But no, it's going to be they got into the meat of the schedule real quick here with after this coming week. It's going to be a string of games there. Those 5 games with Alabama, 3 against JMU and Virginia Tech. That's going to be all of them are at home, but that's going to be
along with that
5 games.
On that midweek, we're looking ahead a little bit. On that midweek when Alabama's coming to town, I need every Herd fan out there in Kelly Green, not even a white shirt. I need you in Kelly Green so as to visibly be noticeable that there is a home field advantage, because there are going to be a lot of folks from where's Montana? Grayson, is that what you said?
Russell,
so okay,
even closer.
So there's going to be a lot of folks in some Alabama Crimson, I would imagine, making the trip over, or at least some folks that are not in Kelly Green. And we can't allow that to happen. That's our house. So every student that hears this, I need a grassroots thing from the Stampede. Every Tuesday of that week, you got to get out to the dot and make sure there is nowhere to sit for an opposing fan. Yeah. Make them have to watch from the outfield in a camping chair. Make that happen.
5 rows deep behind, the outfield wall. We want 4 rows all the way around of Marshall fans, so they can't, they have to even try to stand on their tippy toes to look over the shoulders, get a view of it.
That's right. We need to turn that place into our place, like we know it is. Don't yield to anyone.
That's right. But anyway, that does it for another week, taking you around the hurt.
Hey, man, it's a pretty good week. There's a lot on tap, and tennis team really came out unscathed. Track and field team did really well. Baseball had a rough go of it, but Marshall still won the series against ULM despite the winning streak coming to an end. If that's what you want to hang your hat on, then okay, do that. But we still won the series.
Won the series, won in dominant fashion. We're off of our game, which again, it's going to happen in 24 games. You're going to have a bad one, and it wasn't even that bad. No,
we just went offensively under par for a couple of games, and I can't think of the last time that we saw one of our pitchers, a starting pitcher like Sid, an ace, pitch in all 3 games. But even more so, to take it a step further, that was across 4 days, or not 4 days, but across 3 days. Yeah. So what a wild week. It was just a wild weekend for softball, and we just came up a little bit short. So still love this team. Still love everything about them. They are still the coolest squad in town, as far as I'm concerned. And the last thing I want to say before you take us out of here is, yes, if you haven't gone over to the ThunderCast YouTube channel, the link is in the description. Go click it. We did a 5-part series on the softball team. We were gracious enough to be granted time again with head coach Megan Smith-Lyon and 4 of our players, catcher Autumn Owen, pitcher Sid Nestor, right fielder Alex Coleman, and center fielder Grace Chelleman. And listen to those interviews. Those girls are interesting. I learned a lot about them and a lot about the minds of great players. And I think out of it all, 2 things stand out to me, Russ, and I'm not trying to give a lot away, but 2 things stand out to me is, number one, how Alex Coleman prepares for a game. I just thought that was so cool. And number 2, how the whole series ended up closing with the words of Grace Chelleman were like, I couldn't think of a better way to do for that to end. And no, it was not planned. No, it was not scripted. That was 100% off, live and, unscripted. So it was just a really great series. I'm really thankful for, David O'Leary for granting us the time, the coach and the players for wanting to do that. And that's kind of thing I really enjoy bringing to our fan base. It was a great series. I hope you guys go check it out.
Yeah.
So take us out of here if you got nothing else.
Nothing else. But if you see us at the Joan, if you see us at the Cam, or if you see us over there at the Dot, making sure that no Alabama fan can even stand on 3rd Avenue, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go Herd.
Go Herd. It's the ThunderCast. We will see you next week. Later.